Alright, hello and welcome to our fourth Crimes and Punishments episode. Abbey Grange Affair, I think it's pretty short, so we're just gonna knock this one out real quick.
No, the game is afoot, not a word. Into your clothes and come. I'll wait for you in the sitting room. I've just received a note from Inspector Lestrade, a letter from the suburbs. He is in need of my presence. Whenever he has asked for my assistance, it has always turned out to be entirely justified. I fancy that every one of his cases has found its way into your collection.
Hold on, okay.
Yes, they all seem worthy of...
However, I regret your fatal habit of looking at everything from the point of view of a story instead of a scientific exercise.
Oh, Holmes, you...
I beg your pardon, I digress. It would be much better to examine this letter than to try to convince you.
Hey Danny. Toby.
I agree with you, Toby, that Watson's shoe is preferable to Mrs. Hudson's cold cup.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
Oh, this letter. Colossal scandal in high society. The well-known and remarkable archaeologist, the pride of our nation, Sir Rodney Bencliffe, has been found murdered. The crime took place at the Roman Baths in the Strand Lane, the location of the archaeologist's most recent research, but what is most truly shocking is the murder of Sir Rodney was at the hand of his former friend and partner, Percival Blinkhorn. The death sentence is the only possible punishment for this breed of villain. I agree. And I got the golden knife? Fuck yeah. Oh. No, I just got the silver one. I'm impartial right now. That's my personality ranking. Couldn't give less of a shit about people. Alright. Let's get on the, proper adornments. There we go.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
Alright, fine.
The letter is...
This table? Or this one? Oh, it's this one.
I can tell from Lestrade's handwriting that he was in a hurry when he wrote this letter. The Brackenstall family coat of arms. A wax seal with the monogram E.B.
My dear Mr. Holmes, I should be very glad to inform you of your immediate... I should be very glad of your immediate assistance in what promises to be a most remarkable case. It is something quite in your line. Except for releasing the lady, I will say that everything is kept exactly as I found it, but I beg you not to lose an instant. It is difficult to leave Sir Eustace there. Yours faithfully, Inspector Lestrade. The Strudel.
So, what is it, Holmes?
Promising, as always, it appears to be a case of murder.
So you believe that Sir Eustace is dead?
I should say so. Lestrade wouldn't have sent for me for less. His writing shows considerable agitation, and he is not an emotional man. These people belong to high society. The quality of the writing paper, the E.B. monogram, their coat of arms. The crime was committed before midnight.
Holmes, how can you possibly tell?
Well, it is all thanks to Lestrade. He wrote his letter at 3:30 in the morning. Imagine the chain of events before that. The local police had to be called in. Scotland Yard was notified. Lestrade himself had to make haste there, and finally compose the letter he sent to me. All of that makes for a fair night's work.
It makes sense. Lestrade also speaks of the woman he released.
That seems to indicate that she had been held somewhere during the crime. Much time has been wasted. Let us find a cab and go to Abbey Grange immediately. I live in hope of an interesting morning.
Alrighty.
Ah, Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson, here you are. I'm very glad that you have come, but perhaps I should not have troubled you after all.
And why is that?
Lady Brackenstall has come to her senses, and she has given so clear an account of the affair that there is not much left for us to do. You remember that Lewisham gang of burglars?
What, the three Randalls?
Exactly. The father and two sons. It's their work. They stole a silver service, which is of great value.
Sir Eustace Brackenstall is dead, then?
Yes. His head was knocked in with his own poker.
A violent act of aggression.
Yes, the poor lady. She has had a most dreadful experience. She was assaulted and tied to a chair. But I think that you would best see her and hear her account of the facts. She's in the morning room with her maid, Teresa Wright.
Where is the body of the deceased?
In the dining room. We haven't touched anything.
All right, I'm going to examine it.
Very good, Watson.
Alrighty. It's just... Oh.
Lord George Brackenstall.
Here's the morning room, I suppose.
Ladies, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting Inspector Lestrade in this investigation.
Mr. Holmes, I am the wife of Sir Eustace Brackenstall. We were married only a year ago.
I am sorry for your loss. Please accept my deepest condolences.
I suppose that it is no use my attempting to conceal that our marriage has not been a happy one. I fear that all would tell you that, even if I were to attempt to deny it.
Alrighty, let's go into this. Fresh bruises. Pale cheeks. Elegant dress. Old bruises. Wedding ring. What's that there? There we go. Australian origin.
Can you describe to me the events of yesterday evening?
Is it really necessary? I have already told Inspector Lestrade all that happened.
Yes, madam, it is.
I will tell you then. Sir Eustace retired about 10:30. I sat in this room until after 11, absorbed in a book. Before I went upstairs, I entered the dining room to fetch a candle and... oh God.
Please, go on.
As I approached the French window, I found myself face to face with an elderly, broad-shouldered man who had just stepped into the room. Close behind the first man, I saw two others. One of them struck me a savage blow with his fist and felled me unconscious to the ground.
And then?
When I came to myself, I found that they had secured me tightly to a dining room chair. It was at that instant my unfortunate husband entered the room.
He fought with the intruders?
Yes, I think he had heard them, for he was holding his stick. But they were three, and he eventually succumbed. One of them, the elder one, struck him a terrible blow with the poker. I fainted once more. When I opened my eyes, they had withdrawn. Then my brave Teresa came to my assistance.
Did these three villains steal anything?
Yes, I found that they had taken the silver from the sideboard, but you can see for yourself in the dining room.
You mentioned that your marriage was not a happy one. Was there anything specific that was troubling you?
He was not a nice man when he was drunk, and he suffered from dark moods, but nothing else.
The bruises on your hands are at least 1 week old.
Got him.
Your husband caused those bruises?
Oh, do you? Yes, he did. He was very angry at the time. Out of control. Again. Sir Eustace was a drunkard. To be tied to such a man for life is worse than death.
Your ladyship?
Let's speak to the maid here.
Teresa, I would like to hear your testimony.
Certainly, sir.
Let's see what we got going on here.
As I sat by my bedroom window, I saw 3 men in the moonlight down by the lodge gate. But I thought nothing of it at the time. Oh, if I'd known.
And then?
I went to bed, and it was more than an hour after that I heard my mistress scream. And down I ran, to find her tied to the chair and him on the floor with his head smashed. That's all I know.
Alright then.
These scratches are most definitely made by the picture frame. This is Sir Eustace's safe. There may be something important inside. I must ask Lady Brackenstall to open it.
Yeah, we only got one more character portrait for this case. Yeah, it is a really short one. Family business booming. The Randall gang is back on the street. Less than a fortnight ago, this infamous family of burglars, the Randalls, as they are known, made their reappearance in a brutal, successful intrusion into one of the wealthier homes in Sydenham. The police are already on their trail. However, the details of the crime were being kept confidential, including the name of the victim. A witness was able to provide a precise description of all 3 men, and this will surely give the police a chance to complete their profile on this family of delinquents. It would take the liberty of reminding our esteemed readers about the highly dangerous band and to provide the full description as it is available at this moment. The gang has been in business for some considerable time, being a family of 3, a father and his 2 sons. The elder Jack Randall is a man in his 40s and already grey-haired, while of average height and build. Being the mastermind behind the burglaries, he retains control over his sons, both of whom are close in age but very different in appearance. His first son, William Randall, is tall, broad-shouldered with a small, disproportionate head. The young man, Melvin Randall, is of somewhat weaker constitution and as skinny as a rake. The gang is wanted not only for their frequent thefts and break-ins, but for the exceptionally brutal pirate career they enjoyed before returning to England. Be alert, and may your valuables stay safe. So she had a newspaper describing the Randall gang.
The description of the Randall gang provided by Lady Brackenstall is identical to the one in the Times article.
Yeah.
Sir Warthen Brackenstall. Lord Brigham Brackenstall.
The body is still in the dining room where the murder took place.
Lord Ramsay Brackenstall. Baron Lyndon Brackenstall.
You should examine the body of Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
Oh. What about this? Oh, I see.
It appears that the bell rope was cut by someone taller than me.
You'd have to be well over 6 feet tall.
A fur trader's cabin.
Alright, let's examine the body.
So, Watson, what have you learned from examining Sir Eustace's body?
Well, I can confirm that the death was instant. Sir Eustace was facing his attacker when he received the blow to his head. There are no other apparent injuries.
So they didn't struggle for a while, like she said.
Barefoot. He had therefore been in bed and did not have time to fully dress. Quite a large stick, a formidable weapon. That must be the murder weapon. The head was cracked with the force of the blow.
No.
It is covered in blood. Sir Eustace might have struck his head upon it while falling from the blow. That is one possible explanation. A fur trader's cabin. A deer hunt. This door leads to the upstairs bedrooms. Apparently the criminals did not venture there. The hunting scene. The hunting.
Yeah, this is where the silverware was stolen.
These wine bottles are expensive and mostly from France. This candlestick is valuable. It is interesting that it was not also stolen.
Yeah.
An empty silverware box. It appears that the intruders have stolen the
Why
contents.
didn't they just take the box? Yeah. What else am I looking for here? Oh, there is. Okay.
A bottle of wine is missing here.
Okay.
The criminals did not thoroughly ransack the house. They only took a little silverware. Antique hunting weapons.
To blunderby.
The hunting scene.
Is that the plural for blunderbuss? Blunderby.
The death was instant.
What's that here? Okay, I can go out there. Hold on.
A trap. A trapper's hut.
Got it.
A tra-
Alright. So we don't go that way. Well, let's make some deductions real quick, 'cause we've got some clues. Alright.
This house feels rather sinister. I can't say that I like it here.
Alright, let's go ask her to open up the safe now.
Lady Brackenstall, could you open this wall safe?
No, it is my husband's safe. I do not know the combination.
We have to open it. Your ladyship.
Alright, I can open it then. I'll have
Let
to
us
crack
try
it.
to open this safe.
Let's see what we got here.
This safe can be cracked. I only have to pay attention. The dial will vibrate when it is set to the correct number.
There we go. Alright. Oh, that didn't seem to work. Hold on. What the fuck? Why is it not going through there? There we go. Surprisingly easy to crack safe. Sir Eustace, your current physical and mental state is of great concern. There are several signs of hepatic decompensation. Last time we met, your eyes were bloodshot and your skin was tinged with yellow. There was a particular odor from your breath that is common in those suffering from liver damage, and there is a lung abscesses that we have discussed. The leg cramps you have described to me are caused by an alteration to the nervous system, which in turn is caused in excessive alcohol. That includes the tremors. Your liver seems excessively hard at the time of your examination, which is a sign of evolving cirrhosis. There are also signs of ascites, fluid in the peritoneal cavity, which are evident in your swollen stomach. The pain beneath your left ribs indicates a pancreatic malady, which may lead to fatal and fulminant pancreatitis. Your condition may pose a risk to others. Your excessive alcohol consumption lowers your self-control and heightens your aggression. I am available to help you with this problem. There are a number of treatment options.
It is common practice to keep one's valuables in a safe behind a painting. It should not really pose a challenge for a criminal. Antique coins, possibly of value, but they're scattered without care.
Alright.
Please leave.
Okay, we got more to ask her.
Sir Eustace's doctor speaks of his violent behaviour.
Yes, Sir Eustace was an extremely violent man. A detestable human being, to be more precise. It is true that he once threw a decanter at me, and all because I dared to stand up to him in defence of my mistress. Sly devil. God forgive me that I should speak of him so now that he's dead, but a devil he was, if ever one walked the earth. We met him only 18 months ago. She'd only just arrived in London. Yes, it was her first voyage. She'd never been from home before. Wonder with his title and his money and his false London ways. If she made a mistake, she has paid for it, if ever a woman did. She doesn't have any friends here, so it was especially hard for her. Please.
Oh.
This photograph of Lady Brackenstall and her maid Teresa was taken at a port, but which one?
That sign there. Oh.
So the lady and her maid came from Australia a year and a half ago on this ship.
The Rock of Gibraltar. Interesting.
What do you know about Sir Eustace, Inspector? What was his reputation?
A charming man when sober, but an absolute demon when he was drunk. In such moments he was apparently capable of anything.
I see.
Once he splashed fuel on Lady Brackenstall's dog and set it alight. Another day he threw a decanter of wine at Miss Wright's head.
The alcohol seemed to madden him.
To the point that we were forced to intervene several times to avoid a scandal.
That's the most important detail. Avoiding a scandal.
The hunting.
There we go.
A decanter standing next to the open bottle. An inseparable pair indeed. There is beeswing at the bottom, as if the wine had not been decanted before being poured. This glass has some wine traces, but no visible beeswing. This glass has some... It is rather strange that only one of these glasses has dregs of beeswing inside it, while the other two are clear. Chateau Calon Ségur, French wine, Grand Cru.
That was probably the missing bottle.
Sailor's knots. That's interesting. This rope was handled by the murderers. We need a scent hound to follow their trail. I will take it with me. This is the chair that Lady Brackenstall was tied to.
Yep. We have to go get Toby, the boy.
Come on, Toby. We need the best nose in the British Empire on this case.
So have I collected Toby?
I agree with you, Toby.
Okay, I think we've collected him. Going back to the Abbey Grange now. Yep, we have him. We'll get him there. So beautiful.
Search, Toby.
Here I go. My little fat ass is wiggling away. I see. Did they go inside?
The intruders entered the shed for some reason when they were making off with the silverware.
Alright. Guess we'll have to check that out later. That's Holmes. Look, they didn't even go for the front gate. They went around here. To the well?
The scent leads to the well. I should check it.
Alright. Then they climb over the wall.
The intruder's trail is lost behind this wall. The criminals left the house through the French window. They walked to the shed, then across to the well, before fleeing by climbing over the wall. I wonder why they chose such a winding route.
Wonder indeed. Alright, well let's go over here first. See what's inside this well. Oh,
There's something glittering at the bottom there, but how can I reach it?
take that.
I need a hook.
Okay, I can probably get a hook from this shed.
If only I had something.
Yeah, probably need to get a hook from the shed.
This hook might be useful.
It was indeed a hook from the shed, and now what are these
Small
tools in here?
gardening tools, nothing of great interest. This
Circumstantial
old suitcase
evidence.
sounds hollow. It must be empty. Bags of seed. Some empty bags were recently moved.
Alright, let's put the hook there. Glad I don't have to go into a fucking inventory just to pull it out. I bet you it's the silverware. No.
The Brackenstall coat of arms. It appears that we have found the stolen silverware.
Alrighty. I see. Alright then. There was some kind of murderous visitor.
There are 3 glasses on the dining room table. I was wondering if...
Oh, I forgot. When I came to myself the first time, each of them had a glass in his hand. They might have been a father and his 2 sons. They talked together in whispers, and then they left.
We found your silverware, Lady Brackenstall. It had not been taken very far.
Is that true? I am very thankful to you, Mr. Holmes.
Your ladyship? We found your mistress's silverware.
Oh, that's good news. You really are as clever as they say.
Indeed.
Let's see what Lestrade has to say about all of this. The strudel, my man.
Inspector, I have recovered the stolen silverware.
You are a wizard, Mr. Holmes. And where is it?
In the garden well.
Excuse me?
Unique, isn't it?
Rather absurd. What is the point of stealing silverware and then throwing it down into a well?
Perhaps it was used as a temporary hiding place, or simply the thieves wanted to get rid of it. It is up to us to solve this mystery.
I see. Is there any more clues around here? can't help but feeling there's something else I gotta do here. I've already examined the bell rope.
It appears that the bell rope was cut by someone taller than me.
Holmes, don't look at me like that. I don't know what to think about all this.
Oh, please.
Okay, we can analyze the rope. That's good, that's good. Toby. Toby boy.
Let us see how the rope was cut. The fibers at the end of the rope are smoothly cut. Let us try to find out what tool was used to cut the rope. The fibers from this cut appear to be different. The fibers from this cut appear to be different.
Made by a knife. Ooh, that looks similar.
If I cut the rope with a knife, it matches the original.
Gotta look for a sailor. Let's go to our records to see who was on that ship, the Rock of Gibraltar. Rock of Gibraltar, a bulk carrier from the Adelaide, Southampton, London line, Cunard Building, James Street, London, has returned from a 6-month voyage through India, New Zealand, and Australia. The ship brought to England Miss Mary Fraser, the heiress of the Fraser family, owning land and mines in Australia. Reportedly, beautiful young lady is presently engaged to Sir Eustace Brackenstall, one of the wealthiest gentlemen in Kent.
Here it is.
Check the crew manifest, Holmes.
The shipping company, the Adelaide, Southampton, London line, and its address. Interesting. It must be the place where they keep the records, including the one for the crew of the Rock of Gibraltar.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard, they'll give it to you without any problems.
No.
But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
Yeah. Come on, Wiggins. My main man Wiggins down here.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs,
What the
please?
fuck are you doing?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
I need a register, my young friend. If you could borrow it, there will be half a guinea for every one of you. I need the crew list of the Rock of Gibraltar in 1893, and their current employment.
I'm straight on it, Mr. Holmes.
Do you really think they'll find it, Holmes?
My secret police is better than the Yard in many ways.
Just 3 hours, too. London's a big place.
Here it is, Mr. Holmes. But we can't take it back. It's too risky.
Put it on the table. I'll take care of it. Good work, young Wiggins.
Alrighty. What table is it on? I've got like 3 fucking tables. There we go.
This list shows the senior officers of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her maid made their voyage. Lady Brackenstall does not know anyone in England. This must mean that someone on this list is our mysterious visitor. And these are the lists of the senior officers of the Adelaide, Southampton, London Line ships. Let us find out who was in London upon November the 7th. This list shows the...
What's this guy?
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
Alrighty.
I do not...
Alright, can I go to another page? Okay, there we go.
This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime. This officer was on a ship...
Alrighty. There we go.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved. This officer is... This list shows the senior officers of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her maid made their voyage.
Alrighty. Jack Crocker. I'm not seeing him anywhere. Oh, there we go.
Mr. Jack Crocker was in London upon the date of the crime, and he is due to depart in 2 days. Captain...
Okay. Fucked up by accidentally skipping dialogue. Okay.
This Crocker, do you think...
It would be interesting to meet him. Our young friend should be able to find him.
Wiggums. The Wig. That's the show Sherlock would have you
Wiggins,
call,
could you find a way to bring this Captain Crocker here to us?
Here? Holmes, that could be dangerous.
No problem, Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Holmes, I was informed that you were looking for me, and I'd like to know why.
Yes, it is important that we talk. You will soon understand why.
Let's go right into this portrait. It's an honest man, clear look. Strong build. Newspaper ink. Clean boots. That last part says sea knife. There we go.
You are acquainted with Lady Mary Brackenstall, are you not?
Yes, I think I do remember her. From when I was first officer, but I still don't see...
It seems your relationship went beyond that of mere passenger and first officer.
How dare you?
Indeed, how reckless a feeling is love. particularly if one is prepared to commit a murder in its name.
Explain yourself this instant.
You are aware that the murder made the headlines of the morning press. You read the newspaper report, but to your dismay, found it much fabricated. Once you learned that I wanted to see you, you came straight away. You needed to know what I had found.
You... and what do you know?
That evening, you were with Lady Brackenstall, despite the danger.
I'm not afraid, Mr. Holmes. Besides, all of this is just guesswork.
You would be right if there was no evidence.
What then?
Lady Brackenstall was tied to a chair on the night of the murder. And it was you who tied her up.
You call that evidence?
Sailor's knots.
Yes, as she was tied with a sailor's knot. Your handiwork.
So, it's a sailor who's done it. That proves nothing, Mr. Holmes. I'm not the only sailor in London right now. Your theory is flawed anyway. On the night of the murder, I was aboard the Sharp. I was supervising the repair of a porthole.
At night?
It was an emergency. There was a leak. You can ask the ship's carpenter. He can confirm.
I'm sure that he can.
Perfect. In that case, we have nothing more to talk about. Good evening, gentlemen.
Holmes, what should we do now? Would you like to check his alibi?
No. There is no doubt that these men will testify in his favor, and there will be no way to check.
So, what then?
So, we must work with what we have. We have all the puzzle pieces.
Alright, it was the Randall gang.
Now I understand
most
why you
obviously.
dissected the bell rope.
It was obviously the Randall gang. Captain killed him, but I think this will be one of the few times we're actually going to absolve him, because that's actually what Holmes did in the book. There's no other reason, but I want to be faithful to the material. We're going to absolve Captain Crocker.
Wiggins, could you ask Mr. Crocker to come here again, please?
Right away.
Why did you make me come here again, Mr. Holmes?
It is over. I know that it was you who killed Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
What?
I know, because of the height at which the rope was cut. The knife used was a sea knife, the knots were sailor's knots, and not least the sheer force that was put behind the killing blow. And because you are the only one who knows Lady Mary Brackenstall in London. And because you love her.
It's true.
It is time for you to tell us the whole truth.
I admit that I loved Mary madly from the first day that I met her. But I never did come to visit her, for I believed that she was in a happy household. When I talked to her maid, who told me everything, I was insane with rage. I was due to set sail for 6 months away. I wanted only to see her again. But it turned into a damnable nightmare when he barged in. He dared raise his hand to her. He was not even worthy of licking her boots. Oh, I regret nothing. I admit I killed the monster out of love for her. She will forgive me if she is able.
Lady Brackenstall already forgave you. She said nothing.
Mary.
But that makes her an accomplice as well as her maid. It places her in danger yet again.
Mr. Holmes.
You would not have managed to protect her.
Till I die, do you hear me? Here is a letter that sets everything clear, and it is the one that should be disclosed to the police. I am the only culprit. Mary had nothing to do with it. Now it is time to end this.
Wait, what? Oh shit. Quick time events. And Sherlock Holmes Jesus. Drop that fucking gun.
Please forgive me, Captain Crocker. I wished only to test your sincerity, and your words and deeds have far exceeded my expectations. See here, Captain Crocker, we'll do this in due form of law. You are the prisoner. Watson, you are a British jury. Captain Crocker, the evidence shows that you acted without premeditation and used reasonable force to protect an innocent victim from her husband's brutality. Your devotion pushed you to attempt to kill yourself in order to protect the one you love. Now, what say you, gentlemen of the jury?
Not guilty, my lord.
Vox populi, vox Dei. You are acquitted, Captain Crocker. So long as the law does not find some other victim, you are safe from me.
Mr. Holmes.
It is a great responsibility that I take upon myself, but I will give Lestrade an excellent lead, and if he can't avail himself of it, I can do no more. Come back to your lady in a year, and may her future and yours justify us in the judgment which we have pronounced this night.
Alrighty.
Inspector, I'm afraid that the murderers have escaped us.
What? Do you mean to tell me that you failed? Never thought I'd live to see the day.
I mentioned the murderers, not the case. It is obvious that the crime was committed by 3 criminals who cannot be the Randalls.
You really think so?
You only need to find a gang of 3 thugs wandering around. I can trust you to do that.
If they exist, I'll catch them.
You'll find someone, I have no doubt of it. Goodbye, Inspector.
Alright, and yep, and there we go. Chose to absolve him. Let's accept that decision. A nice, sweet case. Personality ranking just. Yeah, I think that's fair. Anyway, yeah, a nice little short and sweet one. I've only got 2 more cases left in this game. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, and I will be seeing you in the next one.